Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Campbell Chronicles. We are continuing on with our 5-part series, episode 3 of 5, our interviews with Amy McAllen. Amy is a travel agent. If you haven't done so already, go back and watch our previous 2 episodes. The first episode is a background with Amy, which talks about how she's a travel agent, how she got her start, why she does Disney, why she has a love for Disney. And then in episode 2, we go over Disney cruises. We both share the love for Disney cruises. Now we're going to venture into Disney resorts. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know what you think about the Disney resorts. Have you been to a resort? Do you stay on property or do you stay off property? Whether it be Disneyland, Disney World, why? Why do you choose to do Disney the way you do? So go ahead and feel free to leave a comment below. Also, if you do like what you see, share with your friends because, as Amy has mentioned in her previous episodes, that there's a little surprise waiting for somebody who wants to, I don't know, we'll talk about that at the end. So resorts, okay? I personally, I'm a Disneyland guy. And if you don't know, Disneyland is it's right there, right? There's not spread out. It's easy to get around. There's only 3 Disney properties that you could stay at. There's the Paradise Pier Hotel, the Disneyland Hotel, and the Grand California Hotel, which partially is DVC. So you don't have many options on property, but as soon as you walk off a block away, there's hotels everywhere.
Good neighbor hotels. And
the Good Neighbor hotels, I've stayed in a few of them. I loved them. They're really close, within walking distance. Some of them are closer as far as walking distance than, say, the Bay Lake Tower to Disney World and Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So, the options are there. But we're going to talk to Amy. Have you ever stayed off resort when going down to Disney World?
I have, but just when I am going to Orlando, maybe for other things, maybe to go to Universal or something, and I'm going to spend a day in Disney, it's not... I always tell people the difference between staying on property and staying off property is having a Disney vacation and having a vacation and going to Disney World.
Yeah,
so because when
fair.
you're at the resorts, the magic never stops. It's really immersive. They take care of you every step of the way. So I always opt to stay in the resort if Disney is the main thing that I'm doing.
Yeah, there is something to be said for that. The magic that carries over from the parks goes to your hotel. I just, I recently bought into Disney Vacation Club. We're going to talk about that in a later episode, but to be able to go and stay at these resorts regularly now, it's going to be fantastic. And also, I wouldn't be able to do this normally because, as everybody knows, the Disney resorts are not cheap.
Yeah.
They come at a price. Even the value resorts, they can get up there. So...
because of that,
No, that's right.
because of that, the surrounding Orlando hotels are very, very cheap to stay.
Yeah.
You can stay at what's considered a resort in Orlando for $40 a night.
That's not a joke.
Because that's the only way that they can compete with people wanting to stay at Disney is making it super cheap. So if you really want to go to Disney but you have very little money, that is a good way to do it. You just have to do a little bit more legwork as far as getting your transportation there, getting your luggage, whereas when you stay at Disney, that's something that you've paid for.
And the time we went, we stayed off property. We wanted to save a little extra cash and use that money in the parks, but I regret it. The hotel we stayed at, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area, but it's kind of run down, a lot of it. The hotel we stayed at looked a lot nicer in the pictures and the reviews, but it was kind of beat up.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't even take my kids there. So if I could go back and do it again, of course, I would rather spend the extra $60 a night and stay at a value resort and get that Disney treatment.
Yeah.
The rooms are going to be kept up. There's awesome, amazing theming in the value resorts.
Yeah.
The list could go on forever.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite resort to stay at?
Probably would have to be the Polynesian.
Oh, okay.
It's the only deluxe resort, which usually those are the DVC properties. It's the only deluxe resort that I've stayed at Disney, and you can really tell the difference. You're on the monorail, you look across the lake, and you see the castle. You can watch fireworks every night. The restaurants there are amazing. The theming is amazing. It feels like you've stepped into Hawaii. So all of that is very cool, and it's hard once you stay at a deluxe resort. It's hard to then look back at the moderate and value resorts and want to stay there. You really want to keep staying deluxe, which is why you join the Disney Vacation Club.
That's why you join. Yep. As a travel agent, do you find people going to these kind of resorts, the deluxe resorts, more, or what do you see?
It totally depends on obviously your budget. When people bring small children, I recommend, if you have the money, to go for the deluxe resorts, because the transportation to get places is so much easier. Like I said, you're on the monorail for at least 3 of them, and then that monorail goes to Epcot too. So when you have a small child and you need to come back for a nap in the middle of the day, that is so, which is why we first stayed at the Polynesian when we took my son when he was 1, because we knew we needed to come back for a nap. But you stayed at a value resort and you have to wait on the bus and things, and so that can take up to an hour, and then you've wasted some of your day just doing that. So if you have the money, I always say, definitely go for the Contemporary, Polynesian, or Grand Floridian if you have a lot of money. But those deluxe resorts, you definitely pay a premium for, and for a reason. But all the resorts really have negatives and additions that will bring to your trip too.
Sure. So when you're on a resort, it's not like you're just there to sleep. I mean, you can. Yeah. But there's also things to do. You can
spend a whole day there. Yeah.
So what, like you've been to the Polynesian, that was your favorite. What do you do at the Polynesian aside from just waking up and going to the parks?
So the pools are amazing at all the Disney resorts. The pools are amazingly themed. Cool water slides. Usually there's that pool, and then there's like the quiet pools if you're adults only and you want some quiet time, and there's a pool bar there. So there's the pools. There's lounges, particularly at the deluxe resorts. The Polynesian has Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, which is my favorite lounge. It's very cool.
I heard really good things about this place.
Yes, and it's on a beach, and although you can't go swimming anymore because of the alligators, but you can sit on the beach and watch the fireworks. At Magic Kingdom, they pipe the music in for the fireworks, so I love doing that. The restaurants there are amazing. There are people come to those resorts just to go to the restaurants, so when you're staying there, it's really convenient to be able to go to those nice restaurants too. There's boating. You can rent a boat and go out.
Awesome.
And
there's fishing excursions too, right?
Yeah, you can do fishing, boating.
You like to fish?
Yeah, they used to be able to water ski, and I don't think they do that anymore. Nice. But there's still lots of water activities that you can do too. So the list goes on. There's there's kids activities. There's tons of things going on. You can spend a whole day there.
That's awesome. I like to swim, but it's not like it's my favorite thing. As far as like non-swimming activities, what resort would you recommend to go to? Like, say if I wanted to go to a resort and just stay at the resort, I didn't want to go to the parks.
Yeah.
People do that, right? People just go to the resort. So what would you recommend as far as which resort to go to spend the most time there and have that time be filled with fun things to do other than pools?
I would say Grand Floridian is beautiful. I mean, it's ornate and it's beautiful. The places to eat there are amazing, and it's right next to Magic Kingdom, so you're on the monorail. Contemporary is very cool because the monorail comes through it, and it's walking distance to Magic Kingdom. But also, a lot of people don't think about the boardwalk area resorts because there's so much to do there on the boardwalk. So you have the boardwalk that's kind of stems out from Epcot, but it's not a part of Epcot. So it's literally a boardwalk like you see in New Jersey or something, and they have a pizza place, and they have like a dance hall. They have lots of restaurants and things that you can hang out on the boardwalk, ice cream places, and so those boardwalk resorts are, which is the Beach and Yacht Club, the Boardwalk Villas and Hotel, and Swan and Dolphin, which is not officially a Disney property, but it's all right there too. So if you're looking for a lot of activity, a lot of buzz around your hotel, the Boardwalk is a cool area to be too.
Okay. So Amy, as a travel agent, how do you match people up with their resorts?
Well, we look at, first I kind of explain the different categories. So there's value resorts, there's moderate resorts, and then there's deluxe resorts. So it's kind of based on, your budget. Obviously, value is going to be the most budget friendly. But if you do have small kids, I really recommend the deluxe because it's so easy to get back and forth between the parks. Lots of different modes of transportation. So if you're still needing to go back for a nap time, there's that. The moderate resorts I don't recommend as much for little kids just because the theming is a little more adult themed. Kids don't necessarily care as much about the Coronado Springs, the Spanish feel, and the Port Orleans, the New Orleans feel. But adults, that's where we went on our honeymoon, was Coronado Springs, and it was great because we did the whole rope drop to closing time thing. So we didn't care as much quite about our resort, but we didn't want to stay way out the value. So we stayed there, and their main cuisine they serve there is Mexican food. We love Mexican food. So kind of each resort has their pros and cons, and it's just based on what type of trip you're wanting and who's in your family and what your budget is.
Yeah. And so with moderate and especially deluxe, there's more value. Kind of, I say like a fast pass type of system where you get out of your resort, you get your own personal transportation to the park, whether it be the monorail stop right in your resort there.
Yeah. So like the Contemporary, the monorail literally comes through the hotel. So you jump on the monorail, the Polynesian, it goes right up to the door. And even if you don't want to do the monorail, there's a boat to take you across to Magic Kingdom. And then that same monorail will take you over to Epcot. So Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, usually you're doing buses for regardless, although there's the new Skyway that will help with that too. But when you're staying at the Valley Resorts, you're mostly just relying on the buses, which can get crowded, and it's a little bit of a bus ride and sometimes a little bit of a wait to get one.
It's not just a bed that you're paying for.
Yeah.
There's so much more involved.
Going on.
There's activities. Like I said, I like to swim. I'm not much of a pool guy, though. I don't spend hours upon hours there.
Yeah.
But there's other activities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you want to do a resort only stay, it's not hard.
No,
you can
absolutely.
easily fill your time up. I think at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I could probably get lost there for weeks. Just from what I've heard.
And you can hop from resort to resort to check out the different resorts and the different restaurants. You know, people come to certain resorts just for the restaurants or just to try the certain cuisine or whatever it might be, or to watch the fireworks from the beach. You can always resort hop too if you're doing that type of vacation.
What about pool hopping? Is that a thing? Or
pool hopping is not allowed generally. I think it used to be allowed, and they've kind of cracked down. So usually you have to scan your Magic Band to go into the pool gate, and so you have to be a guest staying there.
Yeah. Imagine places like Beach Club probably.
Yes, they have the very cool pool, and it was probably getting crowded with people just wanting to come.
So, that's okay. Go stay at the Beach Club if you want to go to that one.
Yeah.
An added perk to staying on property is your luggage, right?
Yes, absolutely. So when you stay off property, obviously you're dealing with your own luggage just like any other type of vacation. But when you're staying on Disney Resort property, you check in your luggage at your home airport, and you don't see it again until it arrives in your room for you.
That's awesome.
So my mom often tells the story when we were young and she took us as a single mom. There's no way, I was 5, my brother was 8 years old, to take all of our luggage for, week-long vacation to try to get to the airport and get on and off these buses and things. She didn't have to worry about that. So even back then in 94 or whatever it was, they were doing this. So, she just checked her luggage, and then she didn't see it again until then. And same way goes when you're going home. They take care of all of it for you.
And that's included in your...
If you're staying as a Disney resort, whether it's value, deluxe, whatever, they're doing that for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's other services. They got the Magical Express, but there's like the minivan.
Yes.
It's an upcharge.
That has an upcharge. Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you were looking for a little bit more private, intimate, less crowded car ride to the parks or to your resort rather.
Yeah.
That's an option there.
Yep.
When it comes to Disney resorts specifically, maybe a tough question for you, but why use Amy? Why use a travel agent when booking that? Why not just go direct through Disney?
I think because there are so many resorts. I think there's, I don't know the number, 30-something resorts at Disney World. Mm-hmm. That's a lot to filter through if you've never been and you don't know where to start. Like I said, I help break it down for you. Okay, what are you looking for? We don't even look at the resorts that don't really match up with your personal needs. Here's 3 that I think will be best for you. Here's their price points. So it's just kind of a way to filter out all the other information that you don't need and to get the information and stay at the resort that really is going to fit your needs best.
Okay. Does your travel group offer any incentive for resorts, booking a resort with you guys?
Not necessarily, but we might know about some deals that maybe you haven't heard about, like the free dining promotions. Okay. Sometimes so the deals that Disney offers are the ones that we offer too. So maybe sometimes during the summer, there's like 20% off a room stay, things like that. But like the free dining, especially the family I have that's coming home today, we had booked the Art of Animation family suite. There's 6 of them. They were getting the standard dining plan, and then they rolled out the free dining deal, and so we're like, okay, let's reevaluate. So now they're staying at the Polynesian, got the free dining, and it's cheaper than if they were staying at Art of Animation, even though they were at a deluxe resort. So if you don't have a travel agent, you're having to do all that yourself, or you're having to look for those deals where we already know them. We're like, okay, this deal just rolled out. Let's reconfigure your vacation. Yeah. Get you a deal.
Okay. Well, cool. That's very awesome. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. As far as resorts go, Amy, how can people get in touch with you?
So you can email me, Amy, AMY, at onesparktravel.com, and we're running a little bit of a special. If you mention that you saw me on the Campbell Chronicles and you book a Disney World, Disneyland, Alani, Adventures by Disney vacation, you're going to get a $100 Disney gift card to spend at the parks. And if you book a Disney cruise line, you'll get $100 onboard credit to use on the ship.
Sweet. $100. That's at least it's a dinner date to Palo.
Yes, absolutely.
So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me again. This is episode 3 of 5. Next episode, we're going to talk with Amy about how she does Disney World, some specifics, and why she does that. So it'll be pretty interesting. I'm a Disneyland guy, so I'm always looking for the Disney World tips. Thanks again for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. Click that like button and share it with your friends if you like what you're seeing. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you real soon because it's time to say goodnight.